You're now tuned into Mic Check Waifu. Polow and Tell, is that you?
Mic check, waifu. Teliano, is that you?
The winter season is here, bro.
This is episode 134, Mic Check Waifu. As always, it's brought to you by Lube Complex. Make sure you go to lubecomplex.com, use that offer code waifu to save in your Target cart. Make sure you write in little notes that Mic Check sent you. Also, don'ttalkshop.com, as well as our Patreon producers. Shout out to our Patreon producers, AB, Aaron Brown, Dre to Go G, Jaleesa, Ked the Pro, Explicitly, Monique Williams, and Nachi. Thank y'all so much for producing this and many other episodes of the podcast. Listen, this episode of the podcast is also brought to you by Pair Networks at coming soon. But Tell, how you feeling, brother?
Feeling great, man. It was so much to watch, bro. So much to watch.
And it started off with such a bang, bro.
For sure.
Such a bang. I can't wait to get into some of these episodes we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about the start of the winter season, including some spoilers for the first episode and some stuff, but it's not going to like spoil the fucking whole thing. Just the first episode. We're going to talk lightly about the first episode of some shows during the winter season. I'm looking forward to it. How's life, brother, before we get into that?
Pretty good. I know you wanted to know about this, but
yes, sir.
I started working at this gym.
Yes, sir.
So it's pretty nice. Free gym memberships for myself and my wife.
Ooh.
So it's solid.
Not your brother?
Not my brother yet. Not my brother yet. You can come with me. You just
True.
Can't come without me. I don't start training yet, but I will probably start doing that in February. I just got to make sure I get through my certificate and stuff like that. But excited, bro.
Ooh, that's exciting, man. That's exciting. I'm looking forward to you. Hopefully I can maybe hire you to be my trainer. That'd be what's up.
Yeah.
Get that 5-finger discount. No, I'm just kidding.
You get that 5-toe stomp out. I love you, bro. We making money over here.
That's a fact. Get that money. This is Mic Check Waifu, the anime podcast is brought to you every Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. EST. It's also where we talk about anime, anything we're watching in the current season, up to date, and topics of the sort. So the first thing I want to start off with is probably the toughest decision I've had in a very long time on which show is my episode of the week. Now, when I say tough, I don't mean like tough as in like hard to choose, because it's really not that hard to choose, but it's an internal monologue within Polow, aka Tajay himself, saying like, do I want to talk about something that is ongoing as my episode of the week, or do I want to give it to a new show? Because it's really easy for me to give it to a new show because of what I watched.
Okay, so let's do a couple things here, right?
Yes, sir.
I think that the stuff that's ongoing that we normally have in our spoiler talk is generally either high quality or low quality. One of these is not going to be anime of the week unless we have nothing to watch. Right. And the other one can definitely have an episode of the week easily because of what it is.
God, and what it did this week. My God, bro.
But let's avoid Demon Slayer. Let's go for something else. There's a lot of new stuff coming this week.
God for my tail. Thank God for him. I love him. Because you just made it easier. Okay. I'm going to let you go first.
So I'm also having a hard time with episode of the week. But because I watched a lot of stuff, bro.
Same. What about 8? Man, you both watched about 8 shows? That's new, basically.
Yeah. So, sheesh. I'm gonna go with goodness, because I do kind of want to. Sheesh.
Tough, right?
All right. So I feel like the first episode of the week for me for this week, it's not easy but it's kind of easy.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Tokyo 24th Ward for that first episode of the week, because that episode was it was nice. It was nice.
Yeah. You got me, because that was going to be mine as well. But Tokyo 24th Ward is my episode of the week as well. Easily said and done. Like, it's no, if Demon Slayer was a choice though, that would have to be it because of what it did this week. Fucking just God. What's funny though, Montel,
it was God tier.
I got chills from both of them. Both of them. Something about the end of Tokyo 24th Ward, to get into it, sent a shiver down my spine. I'm like, whoa, because I was shocked at how good it was.
Well, and I like to say, like, without going too spoiler heavy, even though we might go a little bit more into it later, that first episode gave us a lot of decent building in the beginning, right?
Yes.
They didn't jump right. They jumped right into like initially like a problem without telling us what the problem really is.
Right.
And then let us kind of see how things develop with the characters. And I really enjoyed overall just that, how they let that play out into the actual cause of the scenario. I loved the actual problem that happened, because that's an actual problem that people try and figure out all the time. The slight spoiler, the train versus derailing the train and killing a bunch of people, or letting the train hit one person.
And there's a term for that. I'm gonna have to look that turn up.
It's a test, but
what's the test
people
called though?
I'll find it. But that test is hard for a lot of people, because if you have to make an option or choice, either way, essentially, people feel like they're murderers. They feel like they killed someone because they didn't make an option, they didn't make a choice, or they did make a choice, and it's kind of hard, man.
So, for example, it's based off that test. Find a name for me, because I would like to give that proper name of that test. But think about it like this: someone you love dearly. Okay, let's say your mom. Your mom is on the train tracks. You have the option to either derail the train and kill 150 people, or save your mom. To save your mom, or let your mom die but save 150 people. So that is the dilemma that is tasked within this first episode. And sorry, it is slight spoilers. The first episode was 48 minutes. So when I saw that runtime, I'm like, oh, this is about to be fucking heat. Because normally when they invest 48 minutes into the first episode to do world building, is heat.
That test is called the trolley problem.
That's it, the trolley problem. Fuck, man. I learned about that. That's so crazy. That is so crazy. I learned about that a long time ago. But yeah, it's a horrible problem to have. What made the show interesting for me is when I'm looking at the episode title. And the episode title for me is, for some weird reason, this is something I never even discussed on the podcast before, but the episode title means everything to me. Like, I don't know what it is, but the episode title always rings true to me when I'm watching it. Like, I look for what the episode title is named. So, like, for example, 86 next episode is titled Shin. I'm concerned about that title because of the way 86 titled their episodes and the way stuff go within the show. This title episode was called RGBs. I'm like, why is it named that? And then as you get to know what's going on and see everything gets taught to you as well as is being established, and character development just so perfectly paced throughout this entire episode, I'm like, damn, this is good.
And I think one of the major things about that, and why that makes sense that the title of the episode means a lot, is because think of a masterpiece, right? If I give you a piece of art and I name it, I don't know, red box, but you look at it and there's no red box on it, you might be a bit more confused than anything else, right? So definitely that's understandable that the title means a lot, because it displays the utmost layer of what you might expect, or something that you need to dive a little bit more deeply into.
Exactly.
So that's important. That's why I think the title makes so much sense to worry about.
It was an incredible first episode, and incredible. Some of the CGI though was off-putting though. Like whenever you would have your animated character on screen with walking towards or next to or near the CGI people, it threw me for a fucking loop. I'm like, whoa. It fucked up my brain for some reason. I couldn't stop focusing on the CGI when I should have been focused on the animated part. which is something that doesn't happen too often unless it's done extremely well by
Ufotable.
Yeah, Ufotable. Like this,
they did CGI in this episode, and you could barely even tell.
Unbeatable with that shit because it was so clean. But with this one, it was so off-putting because it was such a drastic shift between the two, and that's why normally they do either a scene with full CGI, like to build atmosphere and to get it done quickly, or animate it. They don't do both combined because that shit just look weird unless it's Faraway Paladin and they just do both at the same time and it looks awful.
Or Ari Ferreira.
Yeah, it's awful too. But point of mute. I think this is already a shocker this season because we gave it very little love during our preview.
Well, like we always say, and we've said this several times before, those extended episodes, those extended first episodes, those hour-long premiere episodes, those first episodes like that have always proven to be some of the best content that we've gotten. And a lot of that is because they give us time to digest everything within that time frame.
I look at it like them giving a fuck about establishing what's going on here because not a lot of shows do. I'm going to give you a perfect example of one of that I've also watched called Orient. Now, Orient is so fucking for kids, WB, Saturday morning anime cartoon is fucking ridiculous. Like, it is, above all, just a Saturday morning fucking anime cartoon, superhero, Naruto-esque kind of show. Not as good as Naruto, but am I interested in it? For some reason, yes. It's extremely tactfully tacky in every way possible. I'm telling you, when I say it, y'all, everybody our age and below or slightly older, slightly younger would know the 4Kids anime was different. Like you had Shaman King, the first run of Shaman King, Blue Dragon, One Piece before when it was all fucked up. But like you got these shows that it just feels like this. And this feels like one of those shows. I'm going to be a hero. I'm going to do some shit. Ugly animation. It was very, very cheap on the animation, but I like the main character.
Yeah,
I like the side character as well.
And I'm very interested in this one because I enjoy Magi. I think Magi is a very interesting series, and they got some great characters in there, and just overall for character development. I agree though with everything Polow said. This is the most shonen that I've seen this season so far.
Generic as hell.
It's shonen as fuck. I almost wanted to say I believe it a couple of times.
Believe it.
Like, yeah, I just wanted to say that a couple of times in this episode, bro.
I was ready for him to whip out a Beyblade or something, some kind of demon from his body. Anything like that. Like it was so just Pokemon, Digimon, just so that. But you know what? I'm interested. For one, because they show decapitation and shit like that. Yeah, they're monsters, but there was blood and everything, and I enjoyed that piece. He got fucked up in it, like he got his ass beat quite a bit, which was cool too. But I can already tell what kind of show this is. He's going to get into a fight, probably lose most of it, and come out on top somehow. But I'm interested to see where it's going because of
power of friendship.
Yeah, exactly, power of friendship. Because the way they established it, though, right? Like the Bushin and the Oni, like the way the world is manipulated. I'm like, damn, I'm kind of interested in this because there's never a time where we see these 4Kids anime where the entire world is pre-manipulated before we even get a chance to live in it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So they have, and that's what I like too. Is like, is there a hierarchy between like the Kishin, Oni, and the Bushin? Like, do they have to like? Is the world going to realize the Bushin ain't that bad? Like, and what I do like about it though,
they were just manipulated.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what I'm interested in more or less is the fact that our main characters, our protagonists, are probably going to be viewed as antagonists for a lot of this.
Yes.
And to me, I love that dynamic because they are doing what's right.
Facts.
The world just doesn't see it that way because they don't know. And what they did that they showed very well in this episode is that the truth is hidden behind a door.
Yeah, a really big fucking door.
So the world doesn't know, but are they going to be able to bring that to light? So I'm interested as well.
They're just literally training up kids to just become slaves. They giving them the best treatments possible. Hey guys, you guys are awesome. Keep doing great work. You're gonna graduate. Let's give you a parade to lead you into your graduation work. Yeah, we're dreaming to become minors. You become minors, and you know what you see and what you get. You know, it was actually pretty. Again,
it's grim. It was actually it could be pretty dark because the way they walked into that, it was like off the bat,
somebody getting eaten, devoured.
Yep. It was gruesome, actually, pretty for like something that seemed so shonen-esque.
Yeah.
It was bright colors and gruesome.
Yep. Yep. It's ugly as hell though. I don't know what they did with this animation. I didn't like it at all. Very cheap. But I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna give it a few. Is this one of the ones we said we was gonna give 3? I think it was actually.
Yeah, funny because it seems like one of those very short. I'm probably gonna finish the whole thing because I found out that it is by the creators of Magi. So I'm probably gonna watch the whole thing. If I hate it, I'm gonna tell y'all every week.
It's probably gonna weigh on you because it's just so much other shit that's actually this season is a lot better than we thought it was gonna be. I know here's one that you didn't watch that I watched just to throw a curveball at you. Teasing Master Takagi-san. It's a slice of life that is on its 3rd season now. First 2 seasons are immaculate palate cleansers that are just so enjoyable, so tasteful, so fun to watch that I feel like give it a chance. If you haven't seen the first 2 seasons, listeners out there, if you like slice of life, if you like a little bit of comedy, watch it because this again, I talked about this show multiple times on the show before, but it's very, 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 very wholesome and nice and sweet. And it's just like, it's so funny to watch how oblivious he is to the world around him. Like he doesn't still to this season 3 end doesn't know that she's actually crushing on him. He can't tell the difference. He just think it's teasing. So he's like, it's so fun. It's so fun. It's a fun show to watch. So Teasing Master Takagi-san, watch it. I think it's worth it. Season 3. We'll watch the first 2 seasons. So
quick question.
What's up, sir?
Have you watched Odd Taxi?
No.
All right. So I'm halfway through Odd Taxi.
Talk to me.
And I am surprised at the intrigue I have. It's very slice of life, mystery-esque anime. I thought this was going to be something much more stupid than what I was looking at. I'm watching it because Steve recommended it.
Yeah,
so Scuba Steve, that's for you. First of all, the intro song is hard. It's super good. It's just like a chill vibe song. Mm-hmm. Our main character his name is Hiroshi Odokawa.
Cool question before you get started into that. Sorry, real quick. How many episodes did you watch?
8. No, I'm on 7. It's 13 episodes.
Okay. Would you say where it is right now? Does it belong in our top 10? I just have to know for.
So here's the thing. It's hard to say that. It's hard to say that because I think that depending on how it ends, because it's a lot of mystery in it and a lot hasn't been fully unraveled yet.
Gotcha. Understand.
I think it could definitely break my top 10 for last year. Okay. Depending on how it ends.
Yeah. Must be good then.
So it's definitely like a slice of life mystery kind of vibe you got going on.
Sure.
Because you're really just going along with our main character who's a taxi driver. I don't want to spoil too much in case Polow decides he want to watch it, but I'm gonna finish it next week and I'll tell y'all my full synopsis after that. But yeah, man, I would definitely say from what I've seen so far, it's interesting. The characters are all, I'm not gonna say they're all lovable, but our main character becomes more and more understandable as it goes on. Like he seems like an introvert, but he's a taxi driver, and people end up talking to him, and stuff just happens around him.
I see.
So
it looks so. Last time I saw something highly rated on AniList was the show that Moody recommended to me. To Time of Galaxy. I never went back and finished it, but
I was saying Moody recommended.
She said I'm gonna ruin her status. Yeah. So I don't know. It just looks like it just don't look that interesting to me personally. But maybe one day I'll pick it up. We'll see. I know one show that I do feel like we both watched that we also have to speak to give its flowers. Damn, that was hard to say. The Strongest Sage with the Weakest Crest.
Oh shit! I forgot to watch that.
Really?
Nah, I watched it. I'm just talking shit.
Oh shit! Yeah, crazy. I was shocked at how good it was. This is what prompted the tweet was, I can't wait to record because I just watched some Heat at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I was not surprised. I feel like I knew this was gonna be, because I hate to say it, but it's these kind of, we like these titles.
I don't know if it's yeah, you might be right. You might be on to something that I just didn't realize myself.
we like these.
You might be on to something.
And there was a lot of information that was given that kind of, I'm not gonna say a lot of information, but there was one specific thing that really kind of made me interested, and it was something he said close to the end about how in his previous life he did something.
Ding 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 ding. Yeah.
And I was like, I like that because it shows that he lived in this world previously, but you know, he remembers his reincarnation, right, etc. But I don't want to give too much context, but you know, it's the first episode. Is the dude has a crest, right? There's 4 crests in this world, and they give this one crest, the crest of glory that everyone has. Essentially, we find out more or less that the crests are all optimized for different things. And our protagonist, he wanted the crest that was best suited for combat. And that's the 4th crest, which they call the crest of failure. So they call it the weakest crest, but we're starting to see that it might not actually be that, depending on, you know, the circumstances. So I don't know. I really enjoyed this first episode, bro.
It was incredible. Yeah, it was. It's literally another world that was manipulated. This gives you. Okay, this is one of those shows that didn't have the benefit of being 40 minutes. But with that being said, it still spun its world building well enough for you to understand it without it feeling tacky or tacked on. Like, for instance, Orient did exactly when they told the story of the world, it was real tacky and corny and, again, super for kids like they do with either some narrator talking it or some teacher explaining to you what the world is about. Oh, let me teach you about this. These motherfuckers are minors. They don't need to be learning about this shit. But, you know, I digress. It did do it well enough to where we can figure out just enough about the world while them still explaining a lot of it to us that still felt natural enough. Very dope main character. I love how he just comes into himself naturally. Like when he meets the girl, you know what I'm saying? He's like, wow, she's beautiful. And then he gets nervous. And then you can see that she's clearly nervous for the same reason. But he's like, they're both oblivious to the fact that they like each other. And I think that's adorable, as always in the anime. But what I do find interesting is what you explained earlier. And that's things aren't always as they seem. Because in this particular situation, what we come to find out towards the end of the anime, slight spoilers for episode 1, go watch it, it's just episode 1, but that basically the demons are the ones controlling this entire method of either learning or living. So what people call the crest of failure, or the weakest crest, is the polar opposite. Does that mean it's the polar opposite for the ones who have the quote-unquote glory crest? I think so. I think that just means that their crest is just average, and people with the weakest crest, quote unquote, I'm doing quotes in the video version of the podcast, it means that, you know, they're actually really strong. So I like that. Right. I like that concept of it and how it's being done already. And it's going to have great action, it looks like. Arnold's Schwarzenegger style.
True. The funny thing is that this is actually the episode that made me question if I was going to put Tokyo 24th Ward as my episode of the week.
Me too, bro.
Because, and I don't think it was better than Tokyo 24th Ward in this episode. I think if it had a 40-minute episode, 45-minute episode like Tokyo 24th Ward, it could have been on that level.
Potential. Yeah.
But Tokyo 24th Ward had that 40-minute episode with the benefit of that. It's hard to put, you know, this one on that level, but it still was a great introductory episode because we got a lot done in that time frame. They didn't waste our time at all.
Yes.
There were no meaningless conversations. no meaningless paragraphs or monologues from stuff that we didn't care about.
Speaking.
It got straight to telling us what's going on and how things are happening through our characters' eyes. So I thought this was a great beginning episode.
Absolutely. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Polow and Tell, is that you?
Yo, Polo.
What's up, Tel?
If you have a business, you need a website, right?
Absolutely.
And what's the best way to get a website up and running?
By using the right hosting company.
Right, and one that makes it simple, like Pear Networks. Pear has over 20 years of experience managing the entire digital ecosystem for thousands of online businesses already all around the world.
That's awesome. We've been using Pear for the last 3 years. Pear makes it easier for you with do-it-yourself website building tools and features, including simple drag-and-drop page design. They also offer guaranteed U.S. support technicians ready to help you whenever you need it, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year.
And right now, when you sign up with Pear Networks, you'll receive 1 free month of web hosting. See for yourself how easy it is to build your website for free. Visit pear.com/free to get your first month of website hosting for free by using the code QUICKSTART.
You can't be free. That's pear.com/free. Promo code QUICKSTART to get started today. Real quick, before we move on to the last two that we've both watched, I believe it's the last two outside of our usual current watches from fall. I watched Attack on Titan, obviously. I don't know why. Maybe I should save this for last, but I'm gonna do it now. I watched Attack on Titan. The internet, of course, was acting a fucking fool because
The disappointment.
Oh, they were disappointed on the internet?
No, I'm talking about you.
Oh yeah, the disappointment. Yeah, I think it's because I read it, and because I read it, I think this is what I wanted to talk about. I think because I read it, if I did not read it, I would have enjoyed this so much more. And that's because of what I've watched building up to this. I'm like, this is actually really fucking cool. What's about to happen? What's going on? I wouldn't know what's going on. But because I know the end game, it's like, well, I'm watching this shit like, oh, nope, you have no idea. Nope. Wrong. And I'm just sitting there like, I'm not interested. I'm not invested. I don't give a fuck about anybody. Don't give a fuck about, what's her name? The Ackerman, Mikasa. I don't care about Armin. Never cared about Armin, though. That's neither here nor there. I don't give a fuck about Aaron anymore. Levi, I can give a fuck less about. What's crazy is I used to love these people. I used to love them when I just watched it. But reading it really set me on the path of like, this shit is mad decent. And by mad decent, I mean it's kind of okay. And at one point, the show is going to be in my top 10. And I know, Twitter. Listen, Twitter. At Polow Born Fly. Okay? You can add me all you want. Attack on Titan is not as great as y'all make it seem.
Now, let me put all of Polow's cap to rest because he just capped his whole way through that. While I believe that you may feel that way because you may feel that way right now because you read the manga and you feel almost like detached from everything now because you kind of know where things are going. When I remember before you started reading it and we watched the first half of this final season, there was a lot of shit you didn't give a fuck about.
That's true.
And you hadn't read it.
That's a valid point.
You hadn't read it. You was at a point where a lot of these characters you just didn't give a fuck and you didn't care.
That's valid.
So I don't think it's the fact that it's getting bad from this point forward or anything like that. Not that you read it. I think it's probably just not holding up. And I say some of that is visually and some of that is
it's awful.
I don't think it's all awful, but the Titans, and I think specifically Aaron's Titan looks the worst. Like it's so bad. Like how does the cart Titan and the armor Titan looks good, but the cart Titan animation wise for it specifically is not like this CGI 3D mess of like parts, whereas Aaron is. Now back to the actual contextual things we're talking about. Sorry. I don't think that you dislike this because of you reading it. I think that it's just the fact that after the build up, you've fallen out of love with the series. That's what I think. Because I also think that if this had came out back to back, because this didn't need to be a 10-year long run for this series. You know, this could have been 4 or 5 years and we've been done.
Yeah, because it's truly not written well enough to be a 10-year gap.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were absolutely right about that. Listen, I'm about to get so much fucking hate. Don't listen, just whatever. Don't rate the podcast bad because of my take on Attack on Titan. This shit just is not that good. Maybe I felt that way at the beginning of season 4 because I do remember feeling that way. I'm like, I don't really care. I think it was cool after the Eren. Like, was it? Yeah, it was after
the Warhammer thing.
Yeah, it was that. When that happened, I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. But then after that, it fell right back off again.
And the thing is like, I love Eren Yeager. I think Eren Yeager is fine. Well, I think the issues I have with Eren Yeager all reside within those that last chapter. Like, to me, that last chapter undid a lot of the care I had for him.
I see.
But like leading up to it, like I thought his resolve and ambition was so much different,
cleaner. It was. I don't know. Maybe because it wasn't.
It's just dropped expectations.
Facts. And now, listen, let me clarify something. Yes, it's not your typical show, right? Where it's your main character has these ambitions and he goes after these ambitions with such a mad dream and just enthusiasm about it. Yeah, we know that. We know that that's the typical shit. But this still just did not execute on what it was for who he is well enough. That goes into
his character transition.
His character transition wasn't. It was given, not earned. I think that's the best way. It was just given to him. He didn't earn this fucking transition. It just kind of, and it didn't feel good. It don't feel good. Yeah. This one, I know people are probably turned off the podcast right now by hearing these takes, but that's okay. I'm sorry. The shit was not that great. And just, again, I feel like I thought it was because I read it that made me feel this way, but I was starting to feel this way eventually. But my thought is, why the fuck did I read it even if I was starting to feel that way? Like, I still haven't even picked up My Hero, and I know that's going to be better than this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know reading My Hero is going to be so much better than Attack on Titan, and I haven't even picked that up yet. I was like, but I picked this up and just read it all. And I read it all in one day. Like, from the part 1 of the final season, from there on to the end, I read it all. Why have I done that with this, but not with My Hero? I don't know. Maybe I don't want to rule. I don't know. Maybe reading My Hero will make it better for me than watching it, but maybe it's FOMO. I'm scared. I don't want to read.
I definitely think My Hero is a better read.
Yeah, I don't want to read it and then I'll be like, oh. And then now when I'm watching it, I'm really not enjoying it because I fucking read it. So I don't know. I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. If you could smell what I'm cooking. Anyway, next.
All right. We'll talk about how really Sherry built the kingdom.
My goodness, man. It came back swinging, bro. It's back like it never left.
Our boy Soma.
We can't get into this though because this is a part 2 of a season 1, so we can't go into too many spoilers because people.
Yeah, I'm not.
What we're talking about.
I don't want to spoil it, but his energy.
His energy, bro.
The way he treated that prince.
Yes, he brought that shit, man. Listen,
gold, bro.
You want to talk about a main character that's quality, bro? King Soma is quality. Okay, his circle. The way he interact with the circle, quality. Now, you're not gonna get the action you want, okay?
And they kind of showed that in this episode too.
Yeah. You're gonna get top tier conversation though, and this was fucking epic. Everything about it was so good. How the Realest Hero Rebuild the Kingdom was another one that shocked us. What, 2 years? What, a year ago?
It was last year.
Last year. Wow, incredible show. Anything else to add to that though?
No, that was a great show. I got other stuff I watched too.
Talk to me.
All right. In the Land of Lido.
Yes, sir.
So this was my sleeper.
Mm-hmm.
My chosen sleeper. I'm not disappointed in it.
No, yes. It's good.
I think this is one of the better sleepers I've chosen.
Yes. It's really good.
I'm gonna ride this fucking train till the wheels come off.
Oh my God. It's actually good. It's so, again, palate cleanser, bro.
It's funny.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying like ha ha he funny,
right.
but it's like the kind of humor where you like get a little chuckle, but it's still like a decently compelling story. Like finding out about how our main character, how she ended up in the predicament. Yeah. What may have happened, because we don't even fully know. Exactly. We know what happened based on certain information, but we don't know fully the full context, like what happened.
We know what she know.
Mm-hmm. And just overall, we know that her main persona is seen as a 3-century-old witch,
an evil witch.
But she don't come off that way. So I mean, it's just she has a lot of really cool interactions in this episode, this first episode. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And I was thoroughly surprised. I'm glad I chose this one.
Me too, man. Because I'm like, you know what? Because this is one I probably wouldn't have picked up if you didn't choose it, obviously. Because I'm just looking at it and looking at the name. I'm not interested. You know what I'm saying? But in all, watching it turned out to be. I had this fucking smile on my face. It's like, oh yeah, it's nice. You know, this is nice. Right. You know, like just an organic smile of me just enjoying a show.
It's an easygoing isekai.
Yes, it's so easygoing, and it was a treat. It was a treat to watch. Unlike some other shows. All right, bro, that's it, man. Is that you got something else? You did have something else. Yeah,
it's not as good. It's Miss Kurutsu from the Monster Development Department.
Yes.
Not necessarily a bad anime. It's just a strictly comedy anime. They are basically, it's a villain organization who's making monsters to fight against the heroes. So every week, or what I'm assuming is like, it's almost like Monster where they're making a new monster to fight the heroes. This first episode, within the first few minutes, our main character gets hit with a monster that she's not prepared for, with a slap together 10-minute presentation that they just put together 10 minutes ago. And the monster that they are going to fight the strongest hero with is called Nessie. It's Nesuo. Okay. And it looks like Nessie the Loch Ness Monster, but its head is actually like, it's like a costume. Like imagine a T-Rex costume, but it's a long extended head shaped like a dick, and then you see a face poking out, like a human face, and they're supposed to make the hero think that he's not strong, and then as the damage is taken, it resists all previous damage it took. So if you use the sword on it, the sword won't ever hurt it again after that. Which I was like, oh, okay, so it's a pretty strong monster. But as soon as the presentation is done, the strongest villain in the room says, "Do you have the funding to make this monster?" And they say no, and they scrap it. I'm just like, what the fuck are we doing here? What are we doing here?
So this is a show with an average score of 58% on Angus.
You didn't watch Combatants Will Be Dispatched?
No, hell no.
It seems like up that alley, but better, like funnier.
Okay.
Like Combatants Will Be Dispatched was not funny. It was very, very poor taste in general. But this one it's funnier. I'm not saying it's hilarious, but it's funnier. It's not funnier than Oops, I'm a Spider.
So what? Yeah.
Yeah. But this is better than Combatants Will Be Dispatched for sure.
I see. Interesting. All right. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed that quick little roundup of winter week 1, proper winter anime season week 1, even though we've been in winter for a while now, even though in Texas it definitely don't feel like it. But next week is a lot more shows that we're going to be hitting y'all with, so come prepared for that. A lot more episode 1s for the winter season that we're going to discuss and talk about our favorites. I will say this in this particular order: Tokyo 24th Award. The sage with the week, strongest sage with the weakest crest, number 2. The In the Land of Liddell, number 3. And this is not counting How to Realize Hero Rebuild the Kingdom Part 2, obviously, because that's a continuation. And then Orient so far. Obviously, I'm going to put Teasing Master Takagi-san above Orient, but in the Land of Liddell, But in the terms of what we both watch, that's where I'm gonna go with that. Now it's time to get to know Mic Check Waifu. As always, this is what part of the podcast where you get to know us a little bit better, personal wise or anime wise. It's where one of our hosts rolls a random number generator and the other reads a question associated with that number, and we get to know us a little bit better. Tell, what is the number this week?
How many questions you got? 58?
Sorry, yes, 52.
52. My bad.
And I promise Tell gonna get his mic etiquette right.
My bad. All right. 41.
What's the longest you've gone without sleep?
When my wife went to boot camp, I think I did not sleep for like 3 days.
Yeah, I think 72 hours is mine because I had a 24-hour stream. That 24-hour stream raised like $1,000 for no reason. I just got donated like $1,000, and I didn't want it to stop, so I was going. And next thing you know, it was 2 days. It wasn't a full 2 days straight, but it was like eventually 2 days on and off. Like it was, I got off, took a shower, ate some food, got back on again, and it was going for another. So about 3 days as well for me was the longest. It was a great stream though. Great stream. I'll never forget it. All right. And when we come back, we're going to talk some spoilers for Demon Slayer and Platinum In. So please be excited for that. We'll be right back after these.
We got it.
And welcome back to episode 134 of Mic Check Waifu. This is the part of the show where we spoil shows that you may have not watched, the popular ones though. We're starting off with Platinum Man real quick because I just want to say the shit was still bad. First and foremost, it was still so terrible. And I must say, I saw a lot of people on Twitter. I saw one person on Twitter say this was a better episode. And I'm like, but where?
We must not be watching the same thing.
We can't be watching the same thing. There's absolutely no way. This is probably the worst one of the last four, to be 100% honest with you, because we got some explanations, okay? And these explanations have to be the most illogical, irrational. How do you not even write a cycle right? Nothing about it was good. Metro Boomin's reasoning for his actions are dumb. He's
classist.
Yes, he's classist for why? Because you killed your little sister? Because you have a sister complex? I think it's the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. I just want to say that.
His classism, it's almost disgusting. It made me kind of think, this is why their family has white hair and white eyes and shit. Cause y'all be inbreeding. You got an infatuation with your sister, and you salty because you killed your sister.
Because of your infatuation.
You salty because you killed your sister because she is 14 years old and someone asked her out. They like her. You didn't even take the time to figure out, maybe this guy's on the same level as y'all. Maybe he's a rich 14-year-old asshole as you, just like you, and your sister won't be tainted or whatever. Whatever your classist decision is or BS is, it was really just not.
It wasn't even like a good explanation. Like, it wasn't even like a reasonable thing to go from one extreme to the next.
And what also bothered me is that our character sets this rule where they're not gonna dodge each other anymore. They're gonna fight head to head and shoot their arrows at each other.
How much shit?
Why would Metro Boomin agree to that?
Yes.
That bothered me entirely. Like, he never has played by these rules from the beginning. And the fact that they kept kept telling him, why would we trust you? And I don't understand why he's doing it. Like, come on, bro.
For the past 4 episodes before this one, Metro talked about, why would I play fair? That was he said that 4 times in 4 different episodes. Why would I play fair? I'm not going to play fair. I'm not going to play fair. There's no reason to be honest about this shit. I'm trying to become God, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to do it. So why the fuck would you trust him to do something like this in the first place? So with that thought in mind, I'm like, another illogical decision by a shitty protagonist in this shitty world with absolutely shitty characters. I was blown the fuck back because I'm so glad you mentioned that, because I was thinking the same fucking thing. I'm like, the characterizations of these people are so fucking stupid, like,
and inconsistent.
And yes, man.
Like, it would be different if he was under the effect of a red arrow, which that would then give us some cause. But I'm even thinking, like, with how the red arrow affects people, if they shoot him with a red arrow and tell him to kill himself, he's not going to do it, because his mind, like, we've seen that the red arrow doesn't affect certain people who have like a certain psychological like fortitude almost, right? It affects them, but they've been able to like stave off like instincts and whatnot. He is so like head like deep into that whole personality that his class or his level, because of his financial standings and where he's lived, he wouldn't kill himself. That some poor dude told him to do that. Why the fuck would I do that?
It's a waste of time, bro.
The characterization, the way they developed these characters, and then how they did this episode. This was a bad episode.
It was a real bad episode. We need to go ahead and get our critique episodes, not our critique parts on our website up, because we need an official rating. We about to be the Rotten Tomatoes of anime, but better. Yes, let's go. That's the goal right there. We need to do that, because there's nothing, absolutely nothing redeeming about this episode whatsoever. The fact that we got the reason why his sister is dead being the reason why his sisters are dead, which led to this decision to become this egotistical psychopath that turns into a pure classist because he killed his sister because someone else wanted to date her because you can't keep her to yourself. It's so fucking just weird. It doesn't even, like, it's not even weird in the sense of anime weird, like, right? Like, you have some anime weird shit where you have shit like, I don't know, anime weird shit where the cousin, quote unquote, fell in love with the cousin, quote unquote, but they're not blood related. That's anime weird shit. That's always and forever will be weird to me. This is just grossly just horrible. And it's like the writer said, you know what? I can't find a reason for him to have this motivation. So let me give him a sister complex. What?
It was bad. It was real bad.
Didn't make sense. Show was terrible. Reasoning is stupid. I can't wait till it's over because I just want to be done with it.
11 more episodes.
11 of dude, and it looks so. I don't know why the animation just turned to even worse shit than it was. It's
the one part I did like in terms of animation specifically was, and I hate to say it, but the way they did when he dropped his sister and her eyes went from like full of life to dull and duller. That was the only enjoyable part and I'm not saying enjoyable in terms of like I like to see her die. I'm saying it was enjoyable in the aspect that they animated that part well.
Right.
Yeah. So, but other than that, like the entirety of the episode was just like average.
Yeah.
In terms of visual,
I will say they do get sound right.
Yeah. But the sound has always been intense in this.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to something that matters. Demon Slayer, bro. Holy shit. Quite literally. My God, bro. I just so much I want to just say. There's so much I want to say. From the way it can, like the pacing of it so far past episode, whatever the fuck it was, 4 on has been perfect, bro. It's just continuing the fucking greatness. And the way it's progressing between this fight and the way it happened was so just lovely, man. I don't know where to start, bro. Okay, Tanjiro continuing his fight. It's not going his way, but then we learned that the sash belt, whatever fuck her kimono belt, is coming back to her, which obviously turns her into her full demon self. Now she was a demon before this. You mean to tell me she's even more of a demon than she was before? Yes, she absolutely is. She's a fucking demon, a true absolute demon that is crazy. For one, what's up with the women in the show? Why are they all so bad?
Oh man, I think they all just built different.
Quite literally. Listen, man, this episode was incredible. From the fight where they finally catch up and she gets her fucking sashes back, and to this regular ass human decide, you know, what are y'all doing? Is y'all making too much noise? Like motherfucking buildings wouldn't get destroyed before that, but I digress. He come out after the 16th building was destroyed and had enough finally, I guess, and said, y'all got to stop this shit. What are you doing with that sword? We're not going to have this in this district. He makes the dumbest move of his life. The demon says, who the fuck are you talking to? She makes her move and decide to destroy everything on both sides of the street. So no curveball for them. Then our boy Tanjiro does what he can to protect the guy. The guy gets his arm cut off, but
beautiful.
It was so beautiful. It was so well done. The fucking
can he get a doofus button?
Yes. He sure can. Because it was really stupid. Really stupid for him to do that. When he's finally out there, and the destruction that this demon causes literally sends Tanjiro into a full-fledged demon mode, which was incredible.
And it wasn't like what I thought was so dope is it wasn't like a demon rage. Like he wasn't raging. Yes. He was more like in a fully logical, like fully I have to act now kind of mind.
Which was incredible, right? Because the way he initiated it, or the way we found out he initiated it, is by not breathing. The entire time that he was full demon mode, he did not breathe that entire time during when he was fighting her. And we didn't find that out until we get word from Nezuko, like, yo, Tanjiro, breathe, brother.
Now, and how they did that too. Because like even that like little slight flashback before they actually did that, because they said something about when you and sister get mad, you're very scary.
Yep.
And that's kind of like when he kind of sinks into that. He's not breathing anymore. He's just moving. He's just fighting. Mm-hmm. And it was like, think of a supercomputer. that's kind of like what he was. He was a fighting supercomputer at that point, like where all he knows is how to do is fight, and he was moving so efficiently.
He's like, this is moving awfully slow, huh? And he was talking so calmly that, like, the voice actor, dude.
It was the monologue. The inner monologue was amazing.
Oh, the voice actor was so zen during the most hectic of times that I was in the zone. I was in the zone. I'm like, oh shit. I was in the
and the music was good.
Yes. I was watching it with Malik on Discord, and he was just like, yo, what the fuck is happening? Because we felt like we wanted to whisper because it was just that intense, and that just, it was just like, you couldn't even approach it without like wanting to like fucking shout. It was crazy. It was crazy. I was blown back by the entire sequence of events. So when he's attacking her, he literally almost killed her when he slashed and his sash came up, and he's like, oh, it's too soft. I can't cut it when it's this soft. And he's just still talking calmly and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is this show? It's incredible. Then she's like, yo, you know what? You tripping, bro. You're not about to kill me. I'm going to show you what was really go down. And then she started popping off. But that's when we get the call from Nezuko to, yo, chill the fuck out.
But even then, though, right? Like, when she was, like, popping off, she didn't pop off on Tanjiro, like, for real. Because they went to a different building, and she was, like, attacking him with, like, she did this, like, Omni slash, where it was supposed to be all of her ribbons cutting him down. Yep. And they, like, all come down on him, but what he does is he kind of, like, parries them all to the same side without her noticing. Just, like, he's, like, slashing. She thinks he's just slashing, like, hopefully not cutting through them for a change. And then pins all her stashes down, dabs them in the ground, and he just Hinokami Kagura at her.
Chills.
He cutting the ribbons up, and all the ribbons just get cut to, like, basically she looked like Doc Ock at this point, because her ribbons don't go out as far anymore.
Right.
And as soon as he's, like, close enough to get ready to cut her neck, because he's not breathing, he goes into that fit of trying to catch his breath, where essentially he's hyperventilating now because he wasn't breathing.
Yeah, and that's before that, though, the moment he started talking and he was telling her, like, why, this was like kind of at the beginning, right, when he started talking like, yo, why did all these people have to die? What the fuck is wrong with you? You tripping? You crazy? When he started talking like that, and she started getting those shivers because from Muzen's memories, it was from his fucking dad, bro. I nearly lost my shit when I saw that flashback.
It was amazing.
I'm like, yo, his dad was this great? What the fuck?
This is what we asked My Hero Academia for when they did flashbacks.
Yes, bro.
Give us good flashbacks, not that bullshit you be trying to feed us.
Just dips. Just a little dip.
Now, when Nezuko popped up, though, bro. Nezuko popped up and popped out.
Kicked her fucking half of her head off. Oh my God, it was so incredible. So she was pissed, obviously. Nezuko was mad because her brother wasn't breathing. She realized that she came into his rescue and saved his fucking life. But then, after that, she gets fucked up. She gets absolutely demolished. Literally arms,
legs cut off,
legs, and then cut in half and thrown into a fucking building. Like, back up, bitch. And then after that happens, she gets up and the girl is inner monologuing like, oh, you know, you're just some half demon. You're not a proper demon. You can't regenerate as fast as we. And then, lo and behold, guess what? She regenerated just as fast. With that, you piss Nezuko off. When Nezuko gets pissed off, apparently when her fucking bamboo mouth guard breaks, she turns into a wait. That's redundant.
A demon or demon.
A demon or demon. She's even more of a demon, and literally grew up. Apparently.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything just in case. I don't know how old she is, so I'm not going to say anything inappropriate. Mm-hmm. But she grew up and just
body bag was
off. Yeah. She was. She popped off. She popped off, and when she popped off, I'd never been so excited to see Nezuko. Like, oh, dude! Again, sound design in this show incredible. When she zoomed, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess
zip, zap, zoom.
Yeah, she did all of it. When she went towards her, I'm like, what the fuck? My gosh! And then the villain's inner monologue is incredible.
Now, also, don't let Polow just hype up the sound design in this anime, because the animation was amazing too. Like, this episode was a 10 out of 10 animation on all fronts. Come on, man.
Like, unbelievably beautiful.
On all fronts, bro. Absolutely. It was like, because there was like, and this is one of those things where I said there was a slight CGI moment where they did a turn for Tanjiro, or actually I think it was just the demon girl, where they did a CGI turn for her specifically, and it did not look out of place. It did not look bad. And this is what we keep talking about. We hate bad CGI so much, but it can be done well. And Ufotable and this Demon Slayer anime, they hit the mark with this CGI so much better, and they don't overutilize it at all.
Yes,
they only utilize it for specific camera angles that add a dynamic to the fight or the animation that is intense.
And it's beautiful. They blend it. It's almost one for one when it comes to what it is. Like you said, they literally do it specifically for camera angles. Now, I know that it's that one guy out there that says, but it's an anime, it doesn't have a camera. Shut up. It does. It's definitely camera angles in anime. But they do it specifically for certain camera angles and rotations that you cannot get in normal 2D animations that is so special. JJK did it well. Mappa did it well with JJK at some points where they made it CGI, but the way they did it was to do camera angles and rotations around shit and to camera focus on specific body parts instead of the people itself. It's an incredible tactic that's used in animated. I think deserves way more praise than it gets because that shit is incredible. It's impeccable. It's it's perfect. It's literally the perfect blend between the two. Mm-hmm. And I can't say enough good things about it. So after that, towards the end of the episode, Inosuke, Zenitsu, and Tengi, whatever fucking name is,
Azui.
Yeah, it comes out of the hole, and they make their way towards the fray, if you will. And now this is where the shit pop off, because we get to see a Hashira go against this demon. And from the looks of it, he's gonna whoop her ass. From the looks of it, it just looks like he's gonna beat her ass from what we saw from Tanjiro, or maybe what Tanjiro did was just that special. Which do you think?
I think there's a combination of that, right? Because I think what Tanjiro did is very special.
Just that special, okay.
Because we do know it's the original fighting style, and one of the things that she said was that when he cut her ribbons, that she felt a burning that she normally shouldn't be feeling from being cut. Right? It's just a cut; it should be done, and she couldn't regenerate from it. So I do think that this is definitely something special that he did, that he was able to even fight an upper six in general.
Right.
Now, going forward, I think Tengen is going to pop off too and do his own thing, but I don't know the extent of this, and I don't know how crazy this is going to get.
Me either.
You know, worst come to worst, we might get some demon train stuff where another upper six pop up. I don't necessarily want that, but I mean, it could happen. It happened in the movie.
You're absolutely right. I didn't even think about that. Wow, which would be crazy because she's lightweight getting her ass stomped. I'm gonna be honest with you. As a number six, she's lightweight getting her ass whooped, and not in the sense of she's losing the fight, because she's most certainly not. Right? Look at Tanjiro. Look at where we are now. But they put the pause on her. Like they actually put the pause on her. Nezuko came through and was fucking her head up, quite literally. And like, there's some shit that's going on. It was like, oh, she kind of not. She don't got that feeling that was it lower third. That lower third I had. So, what's up?
Here's my overall fear. Is that they just did all this training, and it's gonna make Zenitsu and Inosuke still seem completely underpowered.
Fodder.
Like they shouldn't even be here.
Yeah, like what are they gonna do? Right? Like they're not gonna help. Because it seems demon slayers and demons only shoot the fair ones for some weird reason. And doesn't it seem like that?
Yeah.
I don't know. So either they get separated and some other demons that come out and play and they got to deal with on their own, or they just do nothing. They just sit there and talk about what the hell they're seeing or not seeing in this case, because you ain't going to be able to see the motherfuckers attacking. It's going to be too fast. It's going to be crazy.
It's going to be wild.
So I don't know. I don't know where it's going to go. This is why I'm so thankful that we didn't go ahead and say, oh, let's read it. No, fuck that. This is one that this podcast will forever enjoy from the viewing experience, because this is what started the show. So we got to keep it that way. And I think it's been a special thing to talk about every week. And I'm going to tell you what, we're going to talk about it next week, and we're going to love it, and we're going to enjoy it. Love you, bro.
I love you too, bro.
let's wrap this episode up.
All right, we just finished talking about how we love each other and Demon Slayer and all the greatness that it actually provides for us in this week to week context, and these 3 years of this anime podcast. We also finished talking about Platinum Man and how we don't really like it and how it continues to provide context in this week to week horrible anime. Right. We also had a break, and on our break, we got to know Mike Check Waifu Waifu and asked, when was the longest you've been without sleep? Let us know when's the longest you've been without sleep, and how'd you feel afterwards? Did you KO for like 2 days straight after that? Let us know. So the anime that we talked about, we watched a lot of new stuff from this anime season. I watched Monster Development Department. We both watched Realist Hero Season 2, Attack on Titan, The Strongest Stage with the Weakest Crest, which is one of our bangers that was probably going to come out of this season. I also watched I Taxi. Next week, I'll give you the full synopsis on that. Polow watched Teasen Master Takagaki-san Season 3. I've seen a lot of people actually picking that up so far. So let us know what you think about that one. We also watched Orient, the most shonen of shonen that we got so far for this season. It's very shonen-y. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then our episode of the week, and one of our favorite ones, the Trolley Problem, Tokyo 24th Ward. Let us know what you think about that one too, because that's probably going to stick around for a while. But yeah, that's been episode 134 of Mike Check Waifu Waifu.
I'm at Polo Born Fly on all social media.
I'm at King Tiliano on all social media.
You can follow our social medias at Mike Check Waifu on Twitter and at Mike Check Waifu Waifu on Instagram. And as always, Mike Check.
You're now tuned into Mike Check Waifu